So in the past few days, some interesting information came out from Craig Carton, who has a morning show with FS1, that reportedly Aaron Rodgers rejected a trade to the New England Patriots. He shared it on his show the other day. Let me read his comment. Aaron Rodgers almost wasn't a Jet. The New England Patriots made an offer to the Green Bay Packers to get Aaron Rodgers. And when Aaron Rodgers heard it, his agent said, "No, we ain't playing for New England. We want to be a Jet." So, first off, this would be a very interesting scenario because I can't imagine Belichick and Aaron Rodgers on the same team, in the same locker room. It just seems to me like both guys want to have, some control when it comes to their team and decisions, and I just don't see Belichick handing that over to Rodgers. Not that Rodgers wants all the decision-making, but he wants to have that input when it comes to his team, and we've seen the New York Jets give Aaron Rodgers say in lots of different ways already in his time in New York, and I think that's one of the reasons that Rodgers made his way out of Green Bay was because the relationship with Packers GM Brian Gutekunst was pretty broken. It happened, I'd say it started when Brian Gutekunst drafted Jordan Love, didn't give Rodgers any heads up, and then over the past couple seasons in Green Bay, there was just this interesting dynamic between Rodgers and Gutekunst, and seemingly at some point it seemed that they had sort of solved those relationship issues and that Rodgers had more input into potential decisions just to be in the conversation with Gutekunst when it came to things that would affect his job. But I think the way we saw it all end in Green Bay sort of shows that never really was resolved. There clearly was still an issue between Gutekunst and Aaron Rodgers. They couldn't communicate well. Things just did not turn out as I think they could have if they would have had that understanding and really completely resolve that relationship. So first off, the idea of Rodgers on the Patriots, I just can't see it. You have a team and you have an organization in New England who was so successful with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick winning, 6 Super Bowls from the early 2000s to 2019. And I can't see Rodgers wanting to go into New England and sort of play under Tom Brady's shadow, because let's say he came in there and let's say they make the playoffs and then Rodgers and the team lose. I mean, I think he's already compared to Tom Brady a lot, but to go to New England and do that, I just don't think it would be in Rodgers' best benefit. When you look at careers, when you look at how people are remembered, there's already that debate about Rodgers and Tom Brady. I'd say most people would say that Tom Brady is the GOAT when it comes to winning, when it comes to championships, Super Bowls. Rodgers only having 1 Super Bowl, Tom Brady having 7 Super Bowls now. And so if Rodgers were to go to New England, it doesn't make lots of sense. And it makes sense why Rodgers instead chose the New York Jets, because as I said, in New York, he has lots of input into the kinds of things that's going on there. I think that's one main reason that Rodgers joined the Jets, is because they want to make him happy. They want to allow him to have say and have ideas when it comes to what happens with the team, how the team is run, and they're really doing that here in New York. But one interesting thing to think about is, of course, the Jets in the offseason signed Nathaniel Hackett, who spent a year with the Broncos as their head coach. Things did not go well. Him and Russell Wilson could not get things going with that offense. The Jets decided to come in and sign Nathaniel Hackett, and I think that was to lure Rodgers into New York. They knew that Rodgers had that relationship with Nathaniel Hackett. They knew that he was his offensive coordinator in Green Bay for 3 different seasons. And in the past, Rodgers in his press conferences in Green Bay consistently talked about his relationship with Nathaniel Hackett and just how much he loved him. And so the interesting idea is to think about the chance that, let's say the Patriots had somehow signed Nathaniel Hackett as their offensive coordinator. Maybe we'd be talking about Rodgers in New England, because Rodgers does value relationships. And I think that's one of the reasons he came to New York, is because of Nathaniel Hackett. And then the Jets brought in his other friends as well. But I think even in that scenario with Rodgers, if Hackett was with the Patriots, I just have a hard time imagining Rodgers wanting to follow in Tom Brady's footsteps. And I think in the end, Rodgers just wanted to plot his own course, go to a place where he could be the difference maker. And, when we look at the Jets haven't made it to playoffs since 2010. And if they go this year, there's no question that Rodgers is the reason they make the playoffs. On the other hand, if Rodgers went to New England and made the playoffs, I'd say there'd be a debate as to how much it had to do with Rodgers versus Belichick, but in New York, there's no debate.